Have you ever had a moment when you wondered, how did I get here? Maybe you realized that your dream to start up a rental clown party company had changed you. Or your dream to travel the world became grounded by more adult responsibilities. Or maybe you simply woke up one morning and had that sinking realization, I don't know how I got here. Everyone has traveled some part of their life on autopilot. We get into a routine, living one day to the next, making small choices that add up. And then somewhere along the way, we're left asking if this is the life that we actually wanted. Today, I will introduce you to the Ars Moriendi, a book now mostly lost to history that's literally sparked a Christian spiritual revolution in its day. Together, we will rediscover this 600-year-old Christian movement and through it, the ancient Christian antidote to aimless living. In just a moment, the key to living our lives with deep purpose and intentionality is to live every day with the end in mind. Hi there, my name is Michael Guecki, and welcome to my channel, Deeper Things, where I make videos that look for Christian wisdom and encouragement in some of the less traveled places. Life on autopilot is a nearly universal human experience. At some point, we have all found ourselves in the middle of a routine. Wake up, go to work, eat food, watch TV, go to bed, rinse and repeat. Weeks turn into months, turn into years, until we wake up one day and realize that we haven't been just caught in a routine, we're listless and trapped by the makings of our own habits. But in the early 1400s, aimless living wasn't the biggest problem. Less than 60 years earlier, the world had been shaken to its foundations by the Black Plague, with experts estimating between 75 to 200 million people struck dead. Fresh off the heels of a major global pandemic, those who survived were understandably wondering what lessons about life one could learn from death. And in 1415, the Ars Moriendi, or translated as The Art of Dying, was written to answer that very question. That book went on to create a spiritual revolution. It was among the very first books printed with movable type, had over 100 editions within 85 years, and was printed in nearly every Western European language of its day. This one single book created such a cultural movement that it single-handedly made an entirely new genre of Christian literature on the topic of dying well.
Wait a minute, did he just say dying well? Because I thought that this video was about living with deep purpose and intentionality, not death. I'm out of here.
Hold on a moment, trust me. I promise that the best way to unlock a life of meaning and purpose is to live with the end in mind, which for all of us will be death. The Ars Moriendi frames the art of dying as the conflict between the devil and an angel. The devil on one side tempts the dying with 5 vices: doubt, fear, impatience, vanity, and greed. The angel on the other guides the dying to exhibit their better natures with faith, hope, patience, humility, and gratitude. To the writer of the Ars Moriendi, the art of dying is about displaying godly character in the very last moments of life. And the only way to build this kind of character is, you guessed it, to practice regularly throughout our entire life. The 4th chapter calls the reader to imitate Christ's life in this life, and therefore to live each day forgetting what is behind and straining forward towards what is ahead. We press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called us heavenward in Christ Jesus. And that's exactly what John Wesley decided to do when he first encountered these Christian writings on dying well. He became so convinced that a Christian's death should become the constant guide to our daily living that he wrote, "You have no time to lose. See that you redeem every moment that remains. Remove everything out of your way, be it ever so small, that might anyways obstruct your lowliness and meekness, your seriousness of spirit, your single intention to glorify God in all your thoughts and words and actions. Clearly, Wesley believed that the value of preparing for the next life had deep implications for living this one. Jonathan Edwards agreed and personally resolved to think much on all occasions of my own dying and of the common circumstances which attend death. And he didn't mean morbid fantasies as to how we will die. That is, in fact, the opposite of what these early Christians meant. When we think about death today, we often imagine the circumstances of our dying, where we will be, who will be there with us. But ancient Christians were not interested in the circumstances of dying. They knew that was up to God. What they were interested in is what our deaths would reveal about our character. When we find our lives on autopilot, we become fixated on our circumstances. We become dissatisfied because we want to travel more or enjoy more meaningful work. But the ancient secret to a purpose-filled life is to relentlessly focus on our character, not our circumstances. Each day, resolve to practice one of these 5 spiritual gifts: faith, hope, patience, humility, or gratitude. Find small yet meaningful ways to make them a part of your daily routines, regardless of the circumstances that surround you. The moment that we turn our focus away from the aimlessness outside us to the Spirit of God's transforming work inside us, we suddenly discover a purpose meaningful enough to carry us through this life and into the next one. In order to help us keep our focus on our character and not our circumstances, I've made some printables and desktop wallpapers of the 5 marks of Christian character that we found in the Ars Moriendi. I'd invite you to download and print them at the link in the video description. Stick them to your mirror, share them with a friend, use them as your bookmark, or see them every day when you log into your computer. Do whatever you need to do so that you can be reminded that your Christian calling is to focus on building character. Leave the circumstances to God. The Ars Moriendi reminds us that the only solution to aimless living is to live our spiritual lives with the end in mind. Don't over-focus on the circumstances of your death, but instead imagine the faith, hope, patience, humility, and gratitude that you hope will be revealed in your final earthly moment. Let that spiritual vision inspire you to do something every day. And before you know it, you will have lived another day with purpose and intentionality. And the Christian who lives every day with the end in mind has found the antidote to a life on autopilot and has discovered the secret to living a life of constant purpose and intentionality. Thank you for spending time with me here on Deeper Things. My name is Michael Guecki, and I'm so glad that you've spent some time with me today rediscovering the ancient Christian wisdom for daily living that we find in the Ars Moriendi. Please consider hitting that thumbs up button if this video has encouraged you or inspired you to live this day and every day with intentionality and purpose. Remember, download your free printable and desktop wallpapers at the link in the description. And if this video has encouraged you, consider sharing it with someone else. They might be just as encouraged as you. Feel free to become part of the Deeper Things community by subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you never miss future videos that come out every Thursday. And speaking of that, be sure to go to the comments, add questions or topics there that you would like for me to cover in future episodes on the channel. Thanks again for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you again next time on Deeper Things as we seek to take one step deeper in our faith every day.